All right. Hi, everybody. This is a re-recording of leak number 7 because I found out from many of you that it didn't work, and I really want you to hear this one. I want to hear all of them, but this one in particular. So here we are recording again. It's the 7th of our 7 leaks today. And this last leak is a little bit different from the others. I call it the integrity leak, and it has to do with your business being out of alignment with your value system. So more on that in just a minute, but I just want to remind everybody that my annual Replenish retreat is on for this January, pandemic friendly, of course. And we're going to start to close up all the time and energy and money leaks in your business that I've been talking about in this video series. So I promise you amazingness that includes nature, movement, art, strategy, and lots of breaks. We will not be stuck on Zoom all day. Okay. So you can learn all about that in the on my website or the link in my bio if you're watching this on Instagram. And if you don't know me, I help busy, hardworking women identifying coaches, consultants, and healers and other service-based business owners to transform a business that drains them into a business that sustains them. So let's talk values and integrity. This is the 7th of the most common 7 leaks that are draining your time, money, energy, and frankly, your sanity. We're going to also talk about how to close it up too. Okay, so every single person that I work with has social justice oriented values, right? Like many would identify, probably most would identify as environmentalists, anti-racist, progressive, even radical in their politics, in their personal lives. Okay. And, they definitely all breathed a huge sigh of relief when Trump lost, and also know there's like a lot more work that needs to be done. So some of these folks, some of you are integrating these values deeply into your businesses. And then many of you are well-meaning and want to do this, but haven't done it yet. Okay. And largely because it's not a simple thing to know how to do, right? We are told to do business in a very particular way in this world, right? And it doesn't always line up with bringing all of your values to the table. But what this can look like, it can look, a lot of different ways. One way that it can look is spending money in your business in a way that doesn't align with your values. So you're not investing in environmentally sustainable products for your business, or you're not hiring people or using companies who align with your values, right? Because it takes extra time or money or effort to find them. Or maybe you put an anti-racism statement on your website sometime in the last 6 months or so, but you're not actually doing much to move it forward, right? So you're thinking it might look performative, even though that's not really what you want it to be, but there's like nothing behind it really, or not much behind it. Or maybe you haven't created an anti-racism statement because you're worried that it will look performative, right? It's like a little confusing here. I totally get it. You might be hesitant to use your business platform or use your business as a platform to speak up for what you believe in. So maybe you avoid politics or hard conversations about race in your marketing and with clients and in groups because you don't really know how to navigate that, or you're afraid you're going to lose business over it. And then especially for white folks, I mean, a lot of this is for white folks. While you believe that anti-racism is a great idea, you're not actually in a professionally held container to help you unpack your own racism, and help you look for where racism shows up, where systemic racism shows up in your business, and how to uproot that. For a lot of white people, there is this big fear of doing it wrong, right? Maybe you can resonate with that. A fear of getting canceled if you mess it up, and I get that. I have so been there, and I'm still there, right? I have continuing edges around that for sure. And this fear of not doing it perfectly, this is actually a characteristic of white supremacy itself. So I'll explain. There's a well-known article, I'll try to remember to put the link in the comments, by Kenneth Jones and Tema Okun, and it's about the 15 hallmarks of white supremacy and in organizations and businesses, like how it shows up in our organizations. And one of these things, they're all very interesting, but one of them I'll share now is perfectionism. This idea that we have to do it right and do it right on the first try. But you know what happens when we worry about being perfect, right? We get paralyzed and we don't act. act. We don't do anything. And we can't afford to do that here, right? Like we really can't afford to do that anywhere. I mean, if you've been in business for any length of time, you know that if you're trying to make it perfect and you don't get anything out there, you're not going to have much of a business, right? So perfectionism, down with perfectionism, period. But in this area, it is particularly harmful if we don't act, right? So as you know, this is a video series about how these leaks affect our businesses and our lives, right? And so I want to bring it back to this. So what happens is when you think and feel one thing regarding your values, but you're not acting in alignment with it, it feels bad, right? Right. And this is the integrity leak that I'm talking about. It's draining on you in a subtle, energetic way, or maybe not so subtle, right? Maybe it's really obvious. For white folks in particular, there's this knowledge too that you have privilege, but you're not taking action to do much about it or with it or to deconstruct it. So, and for this leak in particular, right, not only does this leak feel crappy for you, there's clearly a negative impact on the world as well. When you don't act, right, when you don't stand up for what you believe in, when you don't have policies in place that create more equity in your business, when you get stuck in just sort of studying it or trying to figure it out, not committing the time and energy to it, when you don't have the tools to create, like the coaching tools and the facilitation tools to create a space in your programs where hard conversations are welcome and where people of different backgrounds feel included, when you're not doing your own personal anti-racism work, then what happens is that white supremacy continues, right? Environmental degradation continues, right? It doesn't stop, right? If we're not doing the work, it all just goes on status quo. So I'm not talking about this to shame anyone. I'm 100% here to encourage people toward running a business that is in full alignment with your values. And it does take time, but that we're working toward that full alignment. Okay. And to take that first imperfect action, right? Or maybe it's your second or your third or your 10th action. Awesome. Right. Just committing to one more step, because there's always more that we have to do here. Right. I'm 100% in process on this myself. I mean, I have ways to go. Right. But you learn and you act and you learn some more and you act and you just keep going. Right. I know this work takes time. I mentioned in the last video that one of the strategies that we work with in Replenish and Nourish, my mastermind group, is that we close up some of the simple higher leverage leaks first so that we can have the capacity to start working on the more complex ones. And that's part of what we're going to be doing at Replenish this year, is like closing up some of those easy leaks and creating space to do this deeper work, this harder work. I also want to be totally clear. I'm not an anti-racism or diversity, equity, inclusion trainer. There are many amazing people to follow out there. I want to mention a few of them who I've learned from: Trudy LeBron, Weeze Doran, Maisha Hill, Berhenda Williams. In fact, if you're watching right now, like before November 30th, Berhenda is about to start a training called Decolonize Your Business. It's a 12-week program. It starts on Monday. So if you need that, if you need some schooling in this, then I highly recommend it. Just PM me, or message me, just get a hold of me. I'll give you the details. But these are all folks that you can follow and learn from, that this is their work, right? Part of my anti-racism commitment is to connect my clients and my community with the resources and folks doing the anti-racism training and dismantling white supremacy and doing this this deep diversity work and equity work. So like I've mentioned a few times, it's a lifelong process. There's always more we can do. I am constantly amazed at how I continue to unearth more bias in myself. I'm like, whoa, didn't see that one. And how my views of society continue to change. My analysis continues to deepen and change as I do more of this work. This isn't to say that we can't start doing things now to get more aligned, right? And more integrity with our values and do more good in the world. I love what one of my teachers, Maisha Hill, says, and I love this because, you know, of course I'm a business coach, but she says, just like in a business, you've got to niche your anti-racism work, right? You can't do it all. You can't, there's so much, right? You choose something that's the right thing for you and you do that, you know, and this is how you start to take action and get into alignment. Okay. So I want to take a minute now to pull together all of these leaks and give you kind of the bigger reason why I did a whole series about this. So I want to talk about The ultimate productivity secret. Okay, I know that sounds like a big promise, but hear me out. Okay, because here's the thing, when any of these leaks that I've been teaching about are happening, it causes misalignment. Okay, when you're not working with the right clients or doing work you love, things feel kind of off. When you're working super hard when you don't want to be, not charging enough, overgiving, doing all the things in your business that you hate, right? Not being able to ask for help, not living your values, all of these leaks lead to a feeling of misalignment, right? And being misaligned in our work is a total energy drain. Okay. Now, alternatively, when you're in a place of deep internal alignment, meaning you're connected to your purpose and what you will most want for your life and how you want to be and act in your work, and you've redesigned your business to support that, then something really super magical happens, right? Like you become more inspired and motivated and energized and focused, and you have a plan and you know it and you get more done, right? So you know the feeling of like being on fire in your work, right? Like it's right, it's awesome. Like imagine a leaky pipe, right? Water dripping or leaking, or maybe it's spurting out, right? Like it's draining out of the pipe. But then imagine now if you seal up all those leaks and how the water like flows right through it, right? So like the flowing water, alignment is a natural energy source, right? It provides a consistent energy flow to accomplish your goals and your visions and your dreams, and a north star that keeps you moving in the right direction. So the productivity secret is that alignment is the ultimate productivity secret, right? Misaligned, we've got energy draining everywhere, right? And we fall out of alignment so easily and so often in this sped up world. Maybe in particular for you now, during this crazy year we're having, things get leaky and we kind of know it, but we keep going. We don't really pause to assess and change how we're doing things and seal up the leaks. And this is why you will never stop hearing me say that it is essential that we take regular time away from our day-to-day busyness to slow down and realign and make the requisite changes in our businesses to support what's actually most important and most true to us, right? To get into alignment. This is why I do the work that I do, right? This is why I love bringing powerful, talented, too hardworking entrepreneurs away on retreats to reflect and realign and then reactivate their businesses in a way that truly nourishes them and the people in the world around them. So if you're drawn to doing this work together, if you want to learn how to close up all these leaks in your business and start freeing up more time and energy and money to fuel your vision and fuel your goals, then we're going to dive deep on this at the Replenish Retreat this January. So I'd love to have you there. If you bring a friend, you both get $100 off. All the info is on my website or at the link in my bio. We're going to slow way down. We're going to deep dive into each of these areas and literally start closing up your highest leverage leaks during the weekend. Okay. So it's technically virtual, but you're going to be encouraged to go rent an Airbnb or hotel if you're comfortable with that. And the retreat itself is going to, like I said, it's going to be full of movement in nature and all sorts of goodness. So, oh, and then final thing, of course, if you join Nourished, which is my ongoing mastermind group, then you get to come to Replenish for free. In fact, you get to come to multiple retreats for free. So that's all for now. Thank you so much. If you found this useful, you can find the other 6 videos in this series on my IGTV channel and on YouTube. Okay, thank you and happy Thanksgiving. I'm sending out an email tomorrow about Thanksgiving and how to do land acknowledgement. So that's another topic. If you're interested in that, you can make sure you get on my email list before tomorrow. Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.